Earth 2020. Society is in ruins, and a virus runs rampant among the world's humble citizens. They are lost. In these dark times, three wayward nerds cross paths at the House of India and realize they are destined to be friends. And so they did. This is their story. The story of the Side Quest.
Welcome back to the Side Quest podcast.
I'm BJ.
I'm Luke.
And I'm Matt. Why did that feel weird?
Because you didn't say your name after you said the thing.
Well, total ADD moment, but I was like, welcome to the Side Quest podcast. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, there was like a good second. I'm like, do I go or what?
No, I think it was just because, like, y'all, you've been playing, like, games in here and stuff like that, and so it was like, just off a little bit instead of us just coming back exactly where we left it, and just for a second I was like, oh, this is odd.
We also didn't play Cyberpunk in here on Tuesday. We played it in the living room.
It was nice there.
Yeah.
It was nice, yeah.
It was nice. I know at one point BJ was like...
You're just lounging
around.
Yeah, I was like role-playing while I was...
It was funny,
you're like one of your French girls.
Just
it was
like
an emotional moment.
Yeah?
You were role-playing while we were like having like legitimate like... just emotional turmoil or moments with like characters, and you're over here just leaning back and be like, yeah dude, so how does it feel?
Yeah, like Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah. And then you ended that one with anyway, so yeah, you got into a huge car wreck, Arasaka goons everywhere, your girlfriend is unconscious as you're leaning there being like, so what do you want to do?
Yeah,
I think things went pretty well that session. I think just with how Night City is and how the world of 77 is or 44 45 is that shit's always gonna happen. And so I think we played it pretty well. The luck of the dice was in our favor, which is good. Mm-hmm. I mean, BJ told us there's a couple times where you guys made it out okay. And even in the last encounter we had before we stopped, you're like, it could have been so much worse.
The fact that you rolled that 8, if this would have been like a 1, I would have hit Smasher there.
I basically created a little encounter table, and it was like, all right, well, they could get smashed.
Turn me into Rebecca.
Yeah, that would have been crazy.
Speaking of that, there's
the funniest thing is when you went to the bathroom, he was like, "What's the order of cars?" And I was like, "Luke first. Fuck him." and he's like, "Okay, no, we'll flip a coin." And he said, "Heads or tails?" And I said, "Tails." And then he's like, "Okay, Luke is first." And I was like, "Phew." But it was fair.
I saw a tweet the other day about like Cyberpunk stuff, and someone was going on about like, I guess this person hadn't played the video game, but they were pretty much saying that like, oh dude, by the end David would have completely trashed V, like pretty much saying like David in that fucking mech suit would have killed V, and everybody's going like, bro, V canonically is the reason Adam Smasher's dead.
Yeah, V kills Adam Smasher and also every cyber psycho in Night City.
Like canonically, V is like a fucking freak. Like they can't. I think isn't it canonical because of the Ingram stuff that they can
he's
handle
got more processing power.
Yeah, so yeah, Johnny's basically V has an unfair advantage of Johnny's there too.
I mean, but even if you don't like get all chromed up, like it's definitely the like I'm him syndrome kind of.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if there's a part of that. I want to look in. I want to know more about that, like, because. You've beaten Cyberpunk, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I haven't.
Not Phantom Liberty, but like, no, it's standard.
Yeah.
The bit at the end where it's like, oh yeah, V, you're an Ingram as well because you died. Like it's literally like what's left over is being overwritten. You're pretty much an OS system at this point. That's just getting Windows is overwriting it.
Well, what I do like is that they like is all the alternate endings. Like that's really fun, and I feel like all of them seem very. Even though, like, if I were going to be really honest, like, the real honest is that, like, either V dies or Johnny takes over. Those are like the two, like very clear cut. Like that makes sense of
I think that the two endings that makes the most sense to me, and it's dependent on how you play the game, is either you dip off with the Aldecados.
That one doesn't make sense to me at all.
To me, it's
like you get to just make it out.
No, you don't make it out. You leave Night City, but you're still dying. The whole point is that like
we're gonna go somewhere else to try to find help.
Yeah,
but there's no guarantee.
There's no guarantee, but at least you die with people who care about you.
Well, yeah,
and then that's kind of the vibe. It's like the happiest.
After everything that I've learned about Cyberpunk, I don't think the star is death ending.
You don't think it's death?
No. After everything that I've figured out and playing Phantom Liberty and everything, I don't think that he dies.
You think V like somehow lives? Because I was about to spoil Phantom Liberty. Never mind. Sorry. But yeah. I think the one letting Johnny take over though is the other like makes the most sense ending because it's like you've literally set with this
not
person.
V dying.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, because
like you said of the two endings, it's like either Johnny takes over or V dies. The thing is, V dies regardless, unless BJ has a different theory on that with the star. But like,
there's a way for V to have survived every scenario of every ending.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Because I know the Johnny takeover one is probably makes the most sense if V's like I'm dying regardless, give you a second chance kind of vibe, and letting Johnny just go.
But from what I know about Johnny, I feel like he doesn't deserve that, and especially with like how inflated his ego is.
Well, that's kind of the point though. Is
well, in that ending, he's definitely been changed by the stuff that's happened to him. Like his time with V definitely affected who he is.
Because
maybe
because even that moment in the like junkyard bit where it's like just talking to Johnny, depending on it's because it's all dependent on how you react to Johnny. So if you're just antagonistic with him the whole game,
I know, but I also just feel like Johnny's just as I said egotistical. Like maybe he's just I don't know. Like that's the thing. It's like as much as at first I was like Keanu Reeves rocks, Samurai rocks. I'm like. Johnny's a fucking asshole.
Oh, 100%. He's an asshole, but like
that's the whole character arc.
And I just still don't trust him.
I think by the end of it, at least the way that I played my V, which was like I would be like, Johnny, you're a dick, but there were times where I'm like, yo, I like you were still nice to him and still like friendly with him. By the end, my V and Johnny were like tight. We were like, yo, we're cool. And like Johnny being like, yo, dude, it's your like straight up just be like, it's your body, man. Like I don't want it. Like, I don't want to, like, you deserve to live. I hope you find that cure. And then going with the star ending, it was like, oh, that was actually, like, kind of bittersweet. Like, I was like, damn, like, that's my boy. Mm-hmm. It's been literally been in my head the whole time. Like, he's been the one constant companion you have, even if you didn't want him. But then, like, to see him go away, it's like Eddie Brock, like, leaving Venom. And it's like, oh, shit. Like, anytime that's happened in comics, Eddie's like, I know Venom's not good for me, but, like, I kind of miss the little fucker.
I love it when he leaves Eddie Brock in the movies because then he always takes over and becomes sexy female Venom.
Speaking of
Eddie
Brock and Venom, did you see the trailer?
I did.
For what?
The last one.
Oh, they're making a Venom 3?
Yeah.
And
I didn't see that.
Venom integrates with a horse.
Yeah, they do. That there's a moment where he goes like, "Can you take that thing over without killing it?" And Venom goes, "Oh, let's find out." And it becomes
like,
a Venom.
He says like, "How fast do you think we can go without killing it?" And he's like, I guess we're gonna. And then the horse is like, so
yeah, it's going, and it's like a Venom horse. So it's got like the fucking creepy ass.
It's so creepy when it goes in and the horse's mouth like splits in two for a second.
Yeah, it's like a big. It's like it's fucked. Yeah. It's crazy, but it's cool.
And then total like CG, which is again why I fucking hate. We'll get into the other thing we did a couple days ago, but why I hate this new like Marvel CG at this point. It's so gross.
Yeah, they
like it's so hard.
They
to
spend
like
so much money on it, and it looks like dog shit.
That's what I'm saying. Like or like so then yeah. In what I was saying though, it's in the Venom trailer. He like you see this like
ragdoll.
What's his name? Eddie Brock like holding on to the horses like Venom reins and like being thrown ragdolled, and I'm like I can't even now. Like
see,
it's just like even though I know Venom.
But was it as bad as seeing Indiana Jones run on that train in the Dial of Destiny?
That was so good.
Not the part where he was like full body moving around.
No, but we said that it looked good.
The face looks good.
In the dark, it looked really good.
But the parts where Harrison Ford isn't the one that's like moving, they just CG a body there.
Yes, I was saying like, yeah. I mean, we had talked after that movie. We were like, if they did like I mean, if they recast, who's the guy who plays Winter Soldier? Isn't that supposed to like the fan cast of young? Isn't that him?
Well, he was the fan cast for young Luke Skywalker.
No, it's the person that plays young Han Solo. I think
Alden, whatever the fuck. Yeah,
I think he's the fan cast for young.
I think he would
which
be
would make sense because it's
Yeah.
young. Yeah, again, young Harrison Ford. So cast him, and I was like, I'd be so fine with like because in the Last Crusade, they do that whole like little backstory where you learn that Indiana's a dog, and you know he's a Boy Scout, and he's just getting into trouble. I was like, give me that.
Yeah,
shit.
you can just do infinite amount of stories between then and
So many, literally, and like as we said, like we wrote it out perfectly. Like have him move, like retire from the college, and the new professor is coming in. He's like meets Indiana Jones in like the back room where he's keeping all of like a bunch of artifacts, and he sees all these journals, and he's like, yeah, like if you want, like give him a read. And then the new professor opens it up, and then it cuts into something. Oh, like how they make the that'd be good.
I think to your question on like how Venom, like the CGI was bad. I'm like, I don't know how you. Because even the first two Venom movies, it's like, well, yeah, there's only so much you could do with big goo.
Well, the problem is it's a CG
character,
which I agree.
And like, you can't like. Here's the thing: Marvel peaked with Thanos, like even Disney, where it's like that is a full CG character that looks fucking good in like that style. But then everything after it has been kind of bad because they're using that fucking
I will say also Venom's hard because at least how they're depicting it, it's a shiny fluid and light. Like that's the biggest thing.
Lighting is always the hardest thing to do in effects.
Well, the three hardest things to do in VFX is lighting,
liquid,
hair, and liquid. Which is liquid is just light because it refracts at so many times at different angles. So
I'll give them that.
That's why
like,
every female game character has a braid or a lesbian cut.
So speaking of amazing VFX on a $15 million budget with incredible water simulations, we just watched again Godzilla -1.
I still think it's one of the best movies ever made.
I think it's the best Godzilla ever made.
100%.
Story wise, if we're not even talking about VFX, story again, boom. VFX incredible for 15 million. It's like, and that's we had this conversation before about it's like give them a bigger budget, but then we went down the rabbit hole of if you give a bigger budget means another company comes in, gets to do their changes because they are providing the money, and then it just gets fucked, which I agree. But it's like I just want these people to be able to work on whatever they want to do with a unlimited budget, which is not possible in the real world, but that's what I want for them.
I mean, you see, like in the case of Godzilla, it looks better than any movie Disney has put out, any product they've put out in the past like decade.
And they were really smart. Like if you see, there's times when they like have challenging VFX, they either cover it in smoke, or they do fast cuts or quick cuts, so they don't linger too long for you to be like, that looks kind of bad.
But even then, it's like the part where he's trailing behind them in the boat. They linger a long time.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like there's other shots that you can tell that you're like, even in the couple seconds I'm like, it's not as good as the other stuff that they did. But their water simulations, I don't know, like they must have had developed a whole system just around that, or found some guy who was able to do it really well. I mean, that one where I was saying that after when it was coming onto Netflix, they did like interviews and questionnaires about the movie. The scene where Godzilla has the mine in his mouth, they revealed is completely CG. Not like they didn't have a big boat like that they were filming to see like how the water, completely CG.
Because that was the craziest thing to me. I was 100% sure that was done practical.
Like it looks practical. Like it looks like they had.
It looks like someone built a big Godzilla head and then they put a ball in there.
Yeah, all you have to do is put it on the front of a boat and then just drive the boat. And that's cheap compared to VFX these days.
Yeah,
and it's completely CG and it's wild. Hey, if you haven't seen it, I don't know if you're totally against watching foreign subbed films, but
I mean,
watch it. It's such a great.
They have a dub now.
They do
Don't
have a
watch the
dub, but don't do it.
It's such a good human story.
But
It's really it's a human story with Godzilla in it, which is why I feel so connected to it.
Because there's only so much big spectacle can get. Like, yeah, the MonsterVerse movies are like, oh, it's a fucking WWE fight that like we're gonna see Big Monkey fight, and there's some humans, but like you're here to see the fight.
Yeah.
This is one where it's like, no, the humans are the main character. Godzilla is the villain.
And what's also impressive is how much Godzilla they start the movie off with Godzilla.
Yep.
Which is very rare.
Like there's moments in a lot of like Godzilla 2014 is the worst example. I still like that movie, by the way.
With Matthew Broderick?
No, fuck
The one with Bryan Cranston.
Yeah, Bryan Cranston.
Oh, okay.
Again, starts really well. Then
they
they
knew
kill him
what they
off.
were doing there because they had Bryan Cranston.
Yeah, but like even then, like that, I still wish he would have lived through the whole movie.
Yeah,
but,
I mean,
anyway,
if he had gone on to be like the guy for this series of Godzilla movies,
or
I
even
think
or
that
even
would be
just
great.
this first one, but even that one, it's like Godzilla is there, kinda, and you don't really see him
Also,
until
Godzilla's there.
until the end of the movie where you see the big fight, which is a great fight, very dark but great fight. And then you get like Kong Skull Island, same thing, a lot of good humans, but like you're
Dude,
there to see Kong.
that's one of my favorite John C. Reilly movies.
It's a really good movie.
That and the fucking Vampire's Assistant.
You like that?
I love that movie.
Oh no, I'm thinking the Sherlock Holmes,
Oh no, I haven't seen
which
that.
has like I think like a 4% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Damn.
Wait, what?
Luke watched Talladega Nights last week for the first
It's
time.
another
ever.
Will Ferrell.
Like comedy thing.
It's
you
the
just said his
it's
name.
the two of them, John C. Reilly
John
and
C.
Will
Reilly.
Ferrell. It's them doing shit again. Step
Here's
Brothers.
another weird thing. We were at my sister was in a special needs like baseball league, and at one of the games, John C. Reilly was like next to my family, and of course my mom was like just talking to him, not even knowing who he was.
Oh my god.
It happened once, and I like
Your mom's got like the coolest
I'm
stories.
so
like,
jealous of your mom.
I met this dude, and you find out, Mom, that's like a major
he
famous
was
one.
totally incognito, but any like.
Any real one would have known that.
No, for sure. And, I mean, he had the baseball cap and the sunglasses.
Yeah, but it's fucking John C. Reilly. Nobody else has that face.
I know. And he was there. And he was just like, I don't even know why. I mean, maybe he like a family friend, because it was kind of like a one-day big thing for special needs baseball. And
Walk Hard is also one of the best comedies ever.
my favorite joke in that is the drug, all the different drug ones.
It doesn't give you a hangover. You don't want no part of it.
It must be really expensive. It's the cheapest drug there is.
I think I kind of want to try this. All right, but just this once.
All right, okay, just this once. It makes all your bad feelings into good feelings.
It makes sex even better.
It must be expensive. It's the cheapest drug there is.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
I haven't seen the new Kaiju number 8 episode.
Very excited.
But what
to
I
see
will
it.
talk about,
The newest one we haven't seen, I don't think. But
No.
the one before we saw, which is pretty good.
because that was last week. So I was gone on my,
Gaycation.
my gaycation.
Happy Pride.
Thank you. And hey, also happy Men's Mental Health Month. Look out for the boys. If you need people to talk to, there's people there. You're cared. You're loved. So
Gay men are at their strongest this month.
Yeah, straight up, they get both.
They're
They get
going
the-
Super Saiyan.
They get the double buffs, dude.
Yeah.
no, but yeah, for real. I mean, that's like I'll touch on it for a second, but like, this contributes. This trio contributes a lot to my mental health, and
I agree. We talked about that a lot early on because we started during COVID. And in a lot of our, episode 1 through, 20, every episode we were just like, this is the only thing we have.
yeah, for sure.
Well, because at that point it was like work, and you're also like, I don't even know if I'm gonna have a job, because who knows if this is gonna
Yeah,
fuck up.
BJ was
And then-
super
yeah.
fucked.
Yeah.
I remember when we
Yeah, 'cause-
started hanging out, and you're like, "Yeah, I worked 3 hours this week," and I was like, "Brother,
Like it was like a constant of just like, all right, yeah, we're gonna go out to eat. Like, I don't
I'm
have money.
grateful,
Yeah.
that you had enough gas money to make it out to us."
It's crazy. I had 4 different jobs during the pandemic because I started out at GameStop and then I moved to Elite Restoration, which is gone because the crackhead died. And then I moved to Daryl Waltrip, which was terrible because everybody there is a crackhead. And then I went to Bed Bath & Beyond, and now that is gone.
And Bed Bath & Beyond, like at first was good.
Yeah, everybody that I worked with there was super cool, but then all those people left, and then
Well, and then they just cut everyone's hours because they were going out of, they were like,
because of the embezzlement.
because of the embezzlement.
I drove by there the other day after we left Drake's just to like look inside, and it's still just an empty Bed Bath & Beyond.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought, I mean, that's like pretty good real estate.
That's amazing real estate over there on
Because
that thoroughbred
here's
center.
the other thing, like stuff on like Murfreesboro Road, that's a hard exit to get to, but the stuff all by like
Cool Springs Boulevard.
that's a
Poppin'.
really good exit right next to Trader Joe's. Think about how much foot traffic you're getting from
That-
like rich middle-aged white women.
They put that in when I was working at Bed Bath & Beyond. I just don't know what they're going to put over there now because there's already like a Burlington and the Trader Joe's is there, so it's not going to be another like grocery spot.
That's interesting. But yeah, I'm glad we do this. It's a lot of fun.
I agree.
Love you boys, and we'll move on. But so yeah, I was on my honeymoon. I read a lot of Berserk, almost 100 chapters, probably like 90 chapters. I put in the work. I'm really glad I did. I think I told BJ that I was going to, but I've said that before, and so I'm sure he was just like,
When you were going to leave the house, Carmen was like, "Do you want to bring the iPad, read some Berserk?" And you were like, "No." And I was like, "Take the fucking iPad."
And but I'm sure he just thought it wasn't going to happen.
Yes, I always think that.
And then I started blowing up the text.
No, he thought you were gonna say, "Dude, I totally read it," and then you didn't read it the whole time.
Oh,
Yeah, because you're
the
pathological liar.
the other thing he likes to bring up all the goddamn time. Anyways,
Speaking of breaking things up, every time we watch that fucking episode of
I can't catch a break. Get in the comments.
Oh Brother.
So until I started blowing up the group chat that Millie, BJ, and I have, like sending like, "Holy shit, this is happening," and
I think the first one you sent was the Skull Knight reappearing, and I was like, "Yes, that's like the best part."
it gets it's crazy. I mean, how much do you know, Luke? Can I talk about it?
Go ahead. I don't. You've already spoiled shit for me anyway. So,
But I feel like there's so much in this. It's like naming a character in the middle of season 6 of Game of Thrones that you're like, I'm
I'll
probably
never remember who that is.
yeah.
I mean,
exactly.
you can go on because at this point it's like y'all. I know y'all have tried, but then there's times y'all go off on Berserk shit. I'm like, oh, so that's what happens with that character. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
I mean, same.
So
as
it just
with,
happens. Yeah, shit happens. So I mean,
same
I
as
don't
with
care.
another IP that we have to talk about, Yakuza. When you
Oh
guys
my
talk
God,
about,
yes.
Hold on. So Berserk. So yeah. So then So Roderick out of nowhere gets like, is escaping his home because of all these monsters.
No, Rickard.
Rickard. But hold on. First, Roderick is the goat.
Yep.
He's the seahorse. Mm-hmm. And he obliterates these pirates, and then the pirates, at the same time this is happening, Griffith is attacking the capital city, and Ganishka.
Yeah, I think it's
Ganesh?
Ganesha.
Ganesha, the Kushan Emperor, is so haunted from his experience with Griffith.
The craziest thing about that to me is seeing that he can just transform back into Femto at will.
Yeah. I thought he gave up his godhood, but I guess
He
not.
still got it.
Is that indicative of some later shit?
The thing that's really coming is something that you probably forgotten about, that you would be like, oh, I forgot that was an aspect of what happened.
You mean like with the eclipse or the God hand?
With Griffith
Okay.
specifically, you'll see.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, that was a crazy battle.
Hold on, is it that when he achieves his goal that he just loses like power?
I don't know, because he hasn't fully gotten to where he needs to be.
He hasn't been been married to the princess and gotten like
You're really not that far from.
I know I'm not, but I'm just saying like that's what I feel like.
No,
the next step is him becoming king and being married. So
he basically is the king. He just hasn't been married to the princess yet.
and the Pope guy hasn't done the whole ceremony. Well, anyways, so yeah, he's so haunted that he like I don't know how he does it, but he like reaches into so. Which is something I never do, but I started doing is every volume, at the beginning of the volume, they do the characters, and then they do a little synopsis, and they explain stuff that I totally miss. And so it was like, Ganishka did this, and was able to be reincarnated. And I was like, that's what that was? So yeah, Ganesha gets reincarnated from, like, all the souls.
Because he made that, basically transmuted a bunch of humans into a...
Yes. So using all the souls, he reincarnated himself.
Reincarcerated.
To pretty much like deity level. And then Guts out of nowhere shows up and he becomes this like huge monster. I mean, like I can't even tell you the height, but like past the clouds kind of guy, destroys the capital city. Griffith shows up with Zod. Then Skull Knight out of nowhere shows up with this sword made of Behelits called the Sword of Causality. Oh, the Sword of Causality, and swipes at Griffith, hitting Ganesha, and tears him apart. And not just that, but the veil between the demon realm and the the demon realm and like the current like reality.
So spirits are basically, they become physical. Good and bad.
And so while that's happening, the pirate ship that Roderick and Guts and the whole crew is fighting against, they defeat him. It comes back as like a monster reincarnated as monsters. Then they go to this island because they defeat him again. They go to this island. Everyone on the island has been transformed, and then apparently there's a god. The sea god lives there. Guts goes to attack it. They meet this girl. She's a mermaid. It just gets crazier and crazier. Then the Moon Boy shows up, and he like, this is the part which is like, I'm wary, is he kind of helps guide Guts to get out of the guts of the sea god. And
it'll all kind of make sense when they reveal the mystery of what he is.
I guess so.
But yeah, like a lot of people hate that arc because they see it as, oh, Miura spent his last couple years of life writing about Guts on a fucking boat and it's all just filler. And it's like, no, there's a lot of character development in those chapters.
I sent you that thing where like Gus has this really sweet moment with what's her name? Shirk. Such a sweet moment, and he's like I couldn't do any of this without you, my little like witch, and he gives it's like seriously like almost like a half of a page panel of just him looking and smiling with his cut up eye, and I was like, how could you be mad at this baby boy?
My favorite panels in Berserk are the ones where he's in the armor and she is like holding his eyes open. Those go so fucking hard.
Yeah. And then also shout out to our girl, what's her name? Farnese.
Yeah.
Let's go.
She's becoming a mage.
Yeah. Like actually helping.
She's got the Man Award down.
Actually helping, and then the best part is, and so they were like, okay, me and Shirk are gonna help Guts recover, and then Casca's like, ah! and then she's like, okay, I'm gonna go take care of her. Anyways, so good, and then so much shit has happened. Then Rickard shows up, which I was blown away that we were cutting back to him. He goes to see the new Falconia, which is the new like holy city that Griffith just appeared out of nowhere with, and then he slaps Griffith on the face.
I can't say too much about Falconia.
Why?
Because I almost spoiled something big.
Really?
But it is, I love Rickard's arc going to Falconia, meeting what's the right hand man guy that rides on the pterodactyl.
Oh yeah,
he's just like a stable guy.
Yeah. Yeah, and helping him with his knee.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the Kushan assassin guy shows up. Did not expect to see him again, even though we were like, you'll see him again. But when you said that, it was after him and Guts had the fight.
Yeah, in the tournament in Golden Age.
Yes, yeah. So that's why I was like, oh, he does come back, but he's just like, he's just like kind of just this like third party random guy that you encounter in between chapters. Like, I didn't think he would be like, oh, this whole side story is where he's taking Rickert to like the secret city of assassins.
Yeah.
Okay. And yeah, just crazy. And Rickert slapping Griffith was so good. And he said, I told BJ, he pretty much said everything I felt, which was Griffith is making something like amazing and beautiful and helping people. But I'm with Rickert. It's like it's built on the backs of my dead friends, and I can never like live here.
And all that glitters isn't gold. Like that whole funeral ceremony that Griffith's doing, where he's sending the souls of the dead soldiers away. He's 100% eating their fucking souls and gaining their power, and it's all fucked. And nobody knows about the Demon Coliseum in Falconia.
Yeah,
like
the thing that gets me about that is it's like we hate Griffith because we've seen what he's done. But like, if you were just a random citizen, 100%, you'd be like, "Yo, that's the guy." That's
what's so real about it.
It makes it so interesting, and especially like, if you didn't give a shit about Guts and his crew, you'd be like, I mean, yeah, it's fucked up, but like, look at the good he's doing, kind of thing.
It's so funny.
It's that weird thing of like, he's a piece of shit, but depending on where you are on that spectrum, it's like how much. Because like, yeah, you could either be like, "Fuck him, look what he did here," or like,
dude, the part that pisses me off the most about it is that his like Griffith's closest group and his demons and everything are now called the Band of the Hawk, and everyone is talking about how incredible the Band of the Hawk is.
So this is in line with that. Is that when Rickert shows up, he has his old Band of the Hawk pin, and he goes like, "I'm actually like was in the OG Band of Hawk," and everyone's like, "VIP right here!" Like, you gotta tell me stories of Griffith. And I was like, if only you motherfuckers knew that. Oh my god!
Like, they pay that off too, because after the slap, he holds up the pin again and he says, "The Hawk's changed, hasn't it?"
Yeah, it's so. Yeah, and it's like they're like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe you're one of the OGs. So you must have so many stories of Lord Griffith." And we're like, I got some stories, all right. And also, he reveals, and I didn't realize this reading it, but the Hill of Swords. Every sword, Rickert made every single sword for every single member of the Band of the Hawk. What? Like, I got chills right now.
Yeah.
Like, what a homie. What a real one. Like, God.
Yeah, Rickert is on his way to being one of the best.
It's like, except for that one annoying guy, which I still was sad that he died. Like, everyone in the Band of the Hawk was just a jewel, a gem.
Yeah,
I mean, freaking Judo.
I'll never forget about Judo.
Never. I mean, he's the reason.
They wouldn't have lived if it wasn't for Judo.
Gosh. And he died. It was one of those My Hero things. He died with a fucking smile on his face because he knew that he saved Guts and Casca.
I'm gonna cry.
Yeah, he seriously. Who's the big guy? Oh, Corcus.
Corcus.
Oh,
Corcus went down like a G.
Dude, fuck. Berserk. God.
Please, everyone, just go read Berserk. It's the best manga ever written.
And if you're okay with a couple like weird, like naughty ads, go to read Berserk online.
Yeah, it's
because all of you already own the manga.
Yeah. Don't sue us, Nintendo, who publishes Berserk.
Do they really?
No.
Oh.
It's Dark Horse.
Oh, okay.
Which is weird. I think they're the only manga that Dark Horse publishes, to my knowledge.
That's fine. If you're
publishing shit like that.
If your one thing is one of the best things of all time, you're fine.
Yeah, like if Viz Media only had Dragon Ball, they'd be all right.
It's like a 100% success rate.
Yeah. And plus the binding on the books they put out, like those deluxe editions, unbeatable.
Did you know that at least where I'm at like 340, they have it's around like chapter 30, volume 38. God damn.
Yeah, the deluxe editions are still coming
like
out.
you'll know when I win the lottery.
Yeah, I'll have every Berserk deluxe edition and the bookends with the Dragon Slayer.
100%. Yeah.
The other companies are starting to do that now. Trigun and Vinland Saga are putting out the big.
I would absolutely buy them for Trigun.
Yeah, I know. I think it's volume 1 of both of them are out.
Because Trigun's not that long.
I mean, not
big
to like hate
hardcover.
on Trigun manga, but it's like you know who the real OG of like deluxe editions are, though.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, they're so clean. That red text.
That almost faux leather binding with the texture. Unbeatable.
Unbeatable.
I think Triguns is interesting because it's just like a shiny yellow, whatever, and like the red. I think faux leather, but Vinland Saga is I think pretty good too because it's like
when we get,
I like the regular
it's like-
hardcovers for
when I
Vinland
get
Saga.
my
Those
mansion,
look
I do.
nice.
and
Those are-
when I get our mansion and our compound, with
our mansion.
well, it's gonna be my mansion, but then our compound, so
Nice.
everyone has houses on the.
Well, I would like to live in the mansion. That way I can help build the library.
Okay, well, that's what I'm saying. We're gonna have a library room, and we're gonna have a little reading corner with leather chairs and
And an
cigars.
actual statue of Guts.
Yeah, and cigars.
The full Berserker armor on like a thing that we could actually put on.
Here's a crazy thought. I know we've had stuff, and I'm not even like, had any inebriating vaporized substances. But crack.
We haven't done our normal crack today. This is a
But-
not episode.
Like, do you think like a manga like reading area that was also a cigar lounge could be successful?
I think it would do better as a hookah bar.
Oh,
Yeah, 100%.
I think that would be really cool. The
there aren't very many hookah lounges in Franklin Spring Hill area.
no, there's like
none.
there's like 3 in Nashville, and then outside of that, you have to go to a different state.
No, I agree. Like if you did that, that'd be
awesome.
that'd be fire.
The,
I don't think you could make a lot of money, but you would still have a good fucking time.
I mean, there's not a lot of overhead. You just need to pay for the rent
Yeah.
and then the hookah materials, and then
Yeah.
you just keep the books.
That's true.
But
The books would be the most
that would be the most expensive part, to be real. But
$50,000 in books, just like
$30 in hookah.
Yeah, $2,000 in furniture and hookah.
Yeah, it's mostly just couches and books.
Yeah,
But
that would be fun,
yeah, I mean that would be awesome.
especially if you were open to like 12. Which that's the best. Like my favorite hookah places in California are all like open till 2 a.m.
Yeah, what was I gonna say? I totally lost my train of thought. Oh, the thing that reminds me most of is when I was a kid. I don't know if they still have this, but the Franklin Library, the big branch, used to have a manga room.
Not the one off of Main, like the one that's
Yeah, that one.
Oh, the nice one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I used to go over there a lot for Boy Scouts because we would do most of our merit badges there. But on the second floor, there was a room that was nothing but manga, and there was like little fold-out couches and stuff in there. That was fucking sick as hell.
Speaking of that, that library has some very has a lot of significance to me. So when after I was like when I first got here, when I met Tyler and all that, when I had moved out of there, I was looking for a job and a place to live, and so I went to the Franklin Library and I did an application to Starbucks. And while I was there, I did applications to a bunch of places, and like an hour later, I got a call back. Was like, yeah, we'd like you for an interview. And then I got the interview, and then I moved in with Kevin, and the rest is history. But I was like, it happened, and I was like, that was really fucking quick. They're like, please, we need more baristas.
Yeah, Starbucks is always hiring, dude.
Well, it's always just like a part-time job, not part-time, but like a.
They are very flexible from everything that I've heard.
I mean, they always have like college kids or people that are like in between stuff they're always just hiring somebody to like nobody. I mean, there are people that work there for like 10 plus years,
But most people don't make a Starbucks career.
yeah, or at least they're not like baristaing for 10 years. I know one person, and that's the person that like remember the horrible person that when I first at that apartment that I lived with Jake and Kevin at, that was like,
Yeah, the one that was like, this is Patrick.
yeah, he worked there. He had worked for Starbucks for 10 years, and he was a barista.
Damn.
And he did Uber on the side. And it was, I was like, dude,
Uber's not a. I've never seen Uber as a long time gig either.
So apparently, there's a new like ride sharing app that's coming out, and it's booming. Where essentially there's like a they don't take percentages out of like the cut. They only take like a fee, which is like essentially like $1 fee for the app and $1 fee for taxes that they have to pay. And
So
the
it's almost
rest,
like subscription based.
no, and the rest goes to the driver.
Oh, that'll become the best one.
Yeah, exactly.
I just
Because I miss the days when I could order like an Uber that was 20 minutes away for like $7.
yeah, I think the cheapest I ever got one was like $12, but that was like a 30-minute drive. So I mean, it was great.
Yeah.
The thing about Uber and Lyft and all this stuff is, I just wish we had more options for public transportation.
I mean,
Like,
yes and no. Because
I mean, at least for long form trips.
yes, I mean, like, because when like I haven't been to New York, but I've seen the public transportation train system in LA, and it's rough. Like it does what it needs to, but it's rough, and there can be a lot of like, I mean, like every elevator and stairway you go down is filled with piss. Like, it's just,
I mean, it's the same in New York. I think people just don't realize it as much because it's New York and there's
Yeah.
piss and rats everywhere.
yeah. I mean, it's different in other countries, but I think it's just definitely like a product of the system that we live in, especially in large metropolitan areas.
Speaking of New York, did you hear? I mean, me and you talked about this while you were away, but they're opening a second Nintendo store in San Francisco.
No, but what it like? I didn't know that that's a big deal.
Nintendo. Well, so they have the Nintendo store in New York, which is like
They sell exclusive stuff like they
Merch,
have T-shirts, merch,
games,
and then they have like
statues.
the museum upstairs with the Game Boy from the Gulf War and all that shit.
So they're
So-
going to have one in San Francisco now, which is great because I'm hoping that if that does well enough, they'll put more Nintendo stores other places. It'd be sick if we got one here.
Dude, I
that
didn't
would be
realize
so killer.
the last time we went to the mall. Did you know that there's a Lego store in
Yeah.
the mall?
We passed by it. I was like, me and Matt went in there. They have the Shadow the Hedgehog thing, and Luke fully turned around.
It's
I didn't
such
go in,
it's
but there was
such
a
a
good-
fun store. It's fucked. I actually think that Lego with with inflation and time has stayed around the same price, but it's still fucked how expensive Lego is.
I mean, yeah.
Like the thing is, when you think about it, you're like, oh, Legos used to be this much back in the day, but then you think about inflation, you're like, that was a lot back in the day still, where you're like, oh, well, like,
You think about inflation, and then you get hard.
yeah.
It's crazy that I used to have like back in the day like tubs of Legos, which were just old destroyed
Well,
kits.
they would also sell tubs of Lego, and I don't see that much anymore. Now you have to like go on eBay and buy a specific piece for $30.
It's
Or you could do what people did to Super Mega, just send in, oh yeah, I'm missing a piece from a thing, and Lego will send you missing.
I didn't know
pieces.
about that until the Mandalorian kit came out, and everybody was just ordering.
I will
Grogu's.
say the one kit that I can see myself getting are the Star Wars headpieces. Those ones are really good ornamentals. The rest is like, I don't have a place to
I wish
put
I
like
wish
a
that those were
Millennium
bigger,
Falcon.
though.
I agree too, but it's like I don't have a place to put a Millennium Falcon for $500.
I mean, to be fair, like you made a thing for your Gundams. It's like the same thing where you
okay,
could put
but
it there.
if I was going to spend $500, I would buy like 2 perfect grades.
I'm saying, but like what
That are
you
this
what
tall.
you did for your Gundams is what a lot of people with Legos do for their shit. Where they're like,
Yes.
I built a sick ass thing.
Yes.
I'm gonna build a shelf to put my Legos on.
Yeah.
Like that's what it is. It's like some.
But at
some
the
of it-
same time, I would want a high definition model, not a pixelated. It's not even.
Again,
just
I have
pixelated.
it is.
I
a
have an
difference-
issue to take up with Bandai while we're on the subject.
Go ahead.
I
Shoot
want
your shot, brother.
I want more model kits of different things that aren't just fucking Gundam. I remember when I watched Darling in the Franxx for the first time, and before I got to the weird shit, I was like, wow, these mechs look really cool. I wonder if there's
So
any model
episode
kits.
1.
Yeah. So I was like,
Not even. She does that weird thing in the beginning. Never mind. At the
I mean,
Before it gets like really fucking weird, where you're like,
it's all child pregnancy and fucking, and it's a whole bag of worms. But I like the mech designs. And I was like, oh, I wonder if there's any model kits for like the Franks. And I looked it up, and they just have like, they made 2 statues of the main one from the pivotal episode where it goes Super Saiyan, and then the regular version, but there's not a single model kit.
There's one Xenoblade model kit.
And it's fucking expensive, and I'll kill somebody if I know they have it.
Also, here's another thing, which is me now having, a couple of these Voodoo Ranger icing. So we've been doing the new, TikToks that I've been making.
Well, I have a story to tell about those, but go on.
It uses face detection to help me pick out clips. Because your mic is there, it never picks up your face when you talk.
Yeah, it's.
I do. I think we need to get new of these and maybe different pop filters too, because I feel like if we have a way where we can.
If we just put on his
the foam
sleeve,
cover, I think that would do it.
Put it like that, so it's right by your chin. I think you'd be fine.
Which chin? But anyway,
nice self-deprecation joke.
Thanks. I'm good at those. But
or hey, here's something, one thing that Matt does one time, so I'm going to bring it up a million times.
I'm really good at self-deprecation and Matt deprecation.
He really is. We'll be having a really good time and vibing, and then he goes hey Matt, fuck you.
It's been fun.
But not fuck you. Here's something that you did to me.
I like ribbing.
It's been really fun because before you moved in, I was the butt of the joke a lot, and then you moved in, and now you see every single thing of Matt that you're you know what, this is way funnier.
Yeah. Now it comes up. The only time we ever shit on you is when you're not here.
Yeah.
Yep.
But other than that, it's shit on Matt time.
Yeah. But the TikTok editing thing that we've been using, they came up with a title for one of them where we were talking about the 7 deadly sins strike thing, and I said fuck YouTube, fuck 7 deadly sins, fuck YouTube, and all this shit, and the title they came up with was 10 ways to be successful on YouTube. And Step 1, fuck everything.
Step 2, fuck 7 deadly sins. Speaking of 7 deadly sins and Escanor, don't copyright strike us. The voice of Sakamoto is Escanor.
Let's fucking go, dude.
Oh, adaptations.
Yeah. That's exactly what I was trying to get into.
I was at work last night and I was scrolling through Twitter because it was kind of slow. It was a little bit later.
It's crazy that it just popped up.
Yeah, and
I mean, it
I
makes
saw
sense.
it when it got posted.
It makes sense because of your feed, but still,
my feed is mostly.
It's still that none of us had any recollection. Did they
No, that was
an article.
That was
posted
announced
10 minutes before I sent it to you guys.
I looked into it. They announced it in Japan at that, or in Hong Kong or wherever it was. They announced it then too.
BJ,
so
what did they announce?
Yeah.
Like a Dragon, Yakuza, the Amazon Prime series, live action. It's we have very sparse details about it, but it is pretty much the plot of Yakuza 1 for
We
this
do have
first
one
season.
casting.
Yes, I haven't heard of him before. Let me look up what I sent you guys.
Apparently,
he looks.
It's gonna be 6 episodes. They're gonna do a part 1, part 2
I have my
thing.
gripes with it just because of how, even though I know I've only played one game, but how much I know and how much I've seen of other games. I have such an ingrained visual idea of what Kiryu looks like.
I'm saving my opinion until I see him in the fucking suit. With the hair slicked back and in the suit, I'll change.
He's just like a buffer Timothy Chalamet kind of body, or not even buff. He's just tone. Again, I'm not. I bet we're gonna fucking love it.
I mean, here's the thing.
The problem with casting Kiryu is, and even for voices, Kiryu is a larger than life character that no one could ever live up to.
Yeah,
I know.
In reality,
I know. It's to be fair, if we just had the Asian Thad, that's who we want to be Kiryu.
We should just get Thad from the end of Thadland to be Kiryu. Have you seen Thadland?
No, I told you I only seen the first 3
Damn.
minutes because I
shit
thought I
was
was watching a normal episode of Blue Mountain State.
That shit was so funny.
Really?
The ending especially, because I'm like, wait, what the fuck? And then it ends. You're like, what the fuck?
Right.
It's so good. You should watch it.
Yeah,
I will.
Yeah, that should be Kiryu.
It's weirdly heartwarming for Blue Mountain State, that movie.
That is.
And Jimmy Tater's in it, so yeah, it's great. But yeah, they're doing the thing that they really harped on was 1995 is one time period, and then 2005. So they're gonna have a time skip in between where Dojima dies and when he gets out of prison.
Oh, okay.
And they've only announced the one casting. I do like the way he looks. He's definitely built for it. And he seems like he's an actual...
He just is not 7'2", though, and that's the problem.
Kiryu's not 7'2".
I know.
Is Kiryu even 6 feet?
But his...
But
his...
I think he's like 5'11".
Yeah, he's close. Yeah.
Yeah, but his aura.
Yeah. But...
I mean, I'm looking at it in the same way that, like...
So in our text chat, though, I was like, why didn't they fucking cast the Beast?
Yeah, that was our biggest thing. Is like, no, dude, Donnelly needs to be fucking Saejima, because Saejima is built like that.
But so is the Chinese massage guy that saves the blind girl in Zero.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Lee, because
Lee is massive.
because they just
I mean,
used
they
the
call him
Saejima character.
I mean,
model
to be
for
fair,
him.
But I'm
they-
just saying though,
hey,
he could.
to be fair, they did call him Massive Man when you fight him the first time, so he's big.
That's true. And
Canonically.
I mean, I think, or it'd be really fucking funny, but they would have to. But who's the guy who robs you?
oh, Mr. Shakedown.
Mr. Shakedown.
I'm sure they're gonna.
No, dude, they should make that guy Alan Richardson. Alan Richardson is Mr. Shakedown.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting when they have to get like the American people for some of these.
Yeah, I can't wait for them to do
Hey boy.
Michael Jackson.
No, the thing that's gonna get me
Is
is
it Bacchus American?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder who Bacchus. I mean, that's gotta be. I mean, he's the one who teaches him his first fighting
Well,
style.
that
the thing
depends
is-
on if because they're not doing Zero. It's 1995, so it's all one.
But here's the thing. In the one image that we have of the show, the one scrap of content that we have so far,
Oh, it is
the
his-
dragon is unfinished.
oh, is it?
Yes, it's got color, but the eyes and everything are not done.
Hmm.
So this 1995 bit is probably going to be sort of an interim between 0 and 1, I think.
I
So
wonder.
until then, I should probably finish one.
I mean, you got all the bullet points. I don't like Kiwami 1 as much as I like 0. It feels like a big downgrade.
I mean, from what I've heard from all of you, both of you, is that
all two of you.
all two of you, is that like Zero is like one of the top 3 best Like a Dragon games.
It definitely is. And Kiwami is basically just a bridge from 0 to Kiwami 2 for me.
I mean, Kiwami was them going.
The only good thing is it sets up Haruka.
Yeah, it's a remake of 1, but like acting as a sequel to 0.
Let me get him with my feet.
So like 0 is realistically the first game in the series you need to play, and then 1 is a sequel to that. And then going to Kiwami 2 is very weird because Kiwami 2 is the biggest jump in quality from
Because it goes Dragon Engine.
it goes immediately Dragon Engine. And then you go backwards in when you go
And
to 3.
from what I've seen, BJ, like when he got his Steam Deck and was trying to play some of these older games, I'm like, this shit looks awful. And even like on a couple games, you're like, this is almost unbearable.
Yeah, I mean, for the older stuff, a lot of it's not optimized well for like current PC.
Or even just movements, just not as good.
Yeah, it really depends on the game and how well it works on
the Judgment
Proton.
games are pretty good, weren't they?
Judgment works. I mean, pretty
Judgment's
much all the
newer.
Yakuza games.
Well, Judgment's like a year after Kiwami 2, though. Like
Yeah, but how much after 5?
Five
five
came out on
was
the
2000, like
PS3.
yeah,
Exactly.
2010. But like
So I'm saying like how much
okay.
after 5 and 6?
6 was like a year or two. Six
So
was
that's what I'm trying to say. Is you have
5 was 2010. 6 was 2016.
You have 3, 4, and 5 that I'm saying are
Yeah.
older
Yeah.
gen with like again
4 and 5 pretty much just look like Yakuza 0. The problem is going from Kiwami 2 to Yakuza 3.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I mean that's the biggest one I'm trying to point
That-
out. It's
yeah,
like, that's
that-
a horrible jump.
That
to
one's
make.
the worst. That's why I want a Kiwami 3.
That's what everyone is saying they're working on.
Because I think that's
But do you think is the story of 3 good enough to
Yeah.
to
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
the one that
it was a simple question. BJ.
Well,
No,
I mean, I know, but I'm getting pretty drunk and I'm passionate about Yakuza right now. The thing about 3 is it's the one where Kiryu can kind of put his feet up and really disconnect from everything. Everything after 3 is them being like, damn, remember how good things were at the orphanage? And that's all 3 is.
Okay.
3 is like the happiest you see Kiryu in a while.
Is when he does Bakamichai, is that the one where he's looking at the orphanage in 3?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
They use that picture,
Yeah.
that one screen cap from a PS3 game for the rest of the series.
I mean, he's got to sing it in the show.
Oh my god, he.
Oh
fucking
my
better.
god, he's got to. And then Majima.
They need to start with.
Do you think about how many fucking TikTok edits of
Do-
like
do you
bad
want-
boy
if,
Majima?
if they don't cast Majima well, I'll fucking riot.
Do you think?
But even in the
think about it,
movie-
you know how like these bad boys in shows get these TikTok edits that make girls cream.
Yeah, I mean
Majima's prime that, especially with all these girls that are like into K-pop that are like, oh, it's
Dude,
you know,
the Kiryu
it's Asian
Majima
adjacent.
fan fiction's gonna skyrocket if the shit
dude,
goes
they
hard.
better goddamn do Goromi.
I don't think they're going to.
I mean,
And
even
the reason I
Even
don't like,
Saejima is a big piece in what in
no, Sajima's in
Sajima is a big part of Zero because it's just happened.
well, yeah,
from
I
Majima.
mean, I see
And
the
then-
back of Saejima.
Yeah, Saejima is
that's all we
4.
get. That's all I got to see in Zero.
They mentioned him once or two. Fuck, I'm
It's actually about 3 times that he mentions it because when that whole thing with Goro, when he's gets like with that guy, the crazy guy.
They also flash back to when he rolls up to the ramen shop with the gun in his mouth and the other.
yeah, I'm saying so. Zero. It's about 3 or 4 times that they actually mention Saejima.
Saejima becomes
not by
important.
name though. It talks about your brother or my
Saejima
brother.
as an important character is 4. Is when he showed
Now,
because that's when you see the actual.
Does he continue on in 5 or 6
Yeah.
or 7?
5.
He's playable in 4 and 5, and then in 6.
6 they're all
he's
in
got his
jail.
own
Is he the
family.
goat in 4 and 5?
In 4, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, just the feats that he's able to accomplish. He breaks out of prison twice single-handedly. No help. He just fucking does that shit, fighting all the other prisoners and guards.
I'm gonna piss.
But the I think the best way to start this series is to start with something that's like the intro to Zero, where it's that whole night on the town vibe, like you're smoking cigs, doing karaoke, you're feeling the vibe, and then some goons attack Kiryu. I think that's the best way to introduce us to that character.
Well, I think they'll introduce it similar. Oh, I'd say similar to what they did with 1, where it's just like that now the town do the thing, but instead you elongate the bar with Yumi and Reina,
and just everybody goes out.
Yeah, and they maybe they like close the bar, go out for a little bit, and then
They could do Judgment that way.
Yeah, they could do Judgment that way, or they could. The thing is, I wonder how they're going to do it, because Yakuza as a game is very easy to have a dual tone, because you can kind of like, the main story is serious as shit, and then the side content's goofy. Whereas now it's like, okay, because you can ignore goofy shit if you want. Like, I just want it to be really serious right now. But then it's like, I need a palate cleanser. Let me go there. Whereas now you are now forcing someone to sit through it all.
That's
So they have to get the tone correct.
That's why I think Prime is the best service to do this, because with Fallout and with the boys, they ride that line between fucking ridiculous and really serious.
To be fair, though, this is also a Japanese thing first and foremost, that Prime's just getting the
But that also gives me
license
more
to it.
confidence, because that means that RGG is probably directly involved with the production.
I want there to be stupid shit like Goromi and like all this stuff. My guess is the karaoke stuff is gonna be like they're not gonna do a whole. You're gonna hear the whole Bakamitai. Maybe it's like a credit song for one of them, but like I think you'll get him singing some of it, and they're gonna cut to something else or whatever.
Or maybe like you'll see him like ending the song and then walking out of the karaoke bar.
Or like I could see them do if they commit to doing the full like music video, it'll be the end credits of one of the episodes. Where like,
Yeah.
I hope so.
Like what I'm
I
saying,
mean, that would be a great way to end an episode
like,
every
that's
time.
like, that's the thing.
Again,
Like he's
that's
sitting there like
that's top-
singing, and then it starts cutting to things that happen in the episode, and then it cuts to him in the bar and all the things.
Other than
Yeah.
in the middle of an episode, him
Yeah.
doing it, that's as good as we can get.
My-
but
see-
what I assume it's going to
That's
be
a great
like,
idea.
it's just going to be the trailing end of the song as he leaves the karaoke bar.
Also-
or you're going to see him like, you're going to see Bakamitai on like a karaoke screen, and that's all we're going to get.
I'm calling it right now. Nagoshi is going to be Kazuma.
Oh,
Who's
actually, that'd be
Nagoshi?
sick.
He's the creator of Monkey
Yakuza.
Ball and Yakuza.
Yeah.
Would they not?
Because he's in every live action production of Yakuza they've made so far. In the
Did you see
in the first one, he was the guy in the helicopter.
what was the? I forget the YouTuber, but they did a bit for Judgment, where Judgment was coming out and they were talking about it, and he was like pretending to be like Yagami, like he was dressed like that, and he was tailing Nagoshi at a PAX East.
I love that.
And Nagoshi like turned around and was like, "Who the fuck are you?" Like, and he was like talking like, oh, I'm just here to get the info on this new game, Judge Eyes. And he's like, well, it's Judgment in the West, but it's this. And like Negoshi was telling him about Judgment. He's like, oh, that was easy. And like I started ended with Negoshi being like, fucking weirdo. Like he's like, what the fuck? And like moved on. But like, dude, Negoshi can hang. Negoshi will do whatever.
Dude, he's got the most drip of anybody in Japan.
You boys on Saturday down to come to North Nashville with me to go get my windows tinted?
Sure.
Possibly. Depends on what I'm doing that day.
Well, it's gonna be the day after our shit.
I know it'll be the day after, but
have we even talked about that on here?
No. We're gonna go see Dungeons and Daddies in where in Tennessee?
The Caverns, which apparently, talking to some boys on Discord, is a dope venue. It's literally inside the caves.
Yeah. I was supposed to go see Bruce Campbell there one time.
Who dat?
The guy from Evil Dead.
Oh yeah.
He's in every Sam Raimi movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the dates conflicted with our first MTAG. So I think I made the right choice there.
I agree. They're working on an interpreter. They haven't it's been a whole thing. I was really trying to not be like a male Karen, but they literally we like messaged them.
They ghosted you guys a couple of times.
2 months ago, we were like, hey, we need an interpreter, because I remember for Earth, Wind, and Fire concert, I was like a week before, I was like, hey, can we get an interpreter? And they're like, usually we need 3 weeks at least to do it, but we got you one. And I was like, okay, good to know. I will like move forward in my life knowing that I should give them more time.
Which you did.
It was the day after we bought
the
them.
day we
The
bought
day
the
after tickets
yeah.
became available.
Yeah, that's true. Like the second they were available, it was like buy, and then the next day.
Yeah, it was
an interpreter, by the way.
literally, I was, because it came out, I was like,
You bought it 10 minutes after it
boys,
came out.
we need to go. Drunkenly was like, I'm buying everybody's tickets, just Venmo me later, and bought them.
Yeah, we were all drunk when we said.
The day after, emailed them, not a word. 10 days ago, they were like, hey, can you send us your seat tickets, Carmen, or your confirmation number and your seats? And Carmen was like, boom, here you go. Heard nothing. So finally, as I'm in the airport in Cancun with this, again, it was crazy, but it actually wasn't that bad. It just was like so many people, but the airport actually moved like pretty fast. I mean, we were in line for about an hour, but you should have seen the amount of people that were there.
I mean, I fucking believe it.
An hour was nothing.
Cancun is a destination, so...
Again, we should go. It was dirt cheap for all the fun that we had. So, in there, I give him a call, and I get to this guy, and I'm like, hey, hi, Landon. This is the problem we're having. And he goes, he says, hi, I'm just, I'm just working at the gift shop. He's like, but it sounds like they're like a super small crew. So he's like, I remember hearing about this, and I don't think they've got an interpreter yet. And I was like, okay, how can we, like, is there somebody else I should talk to? Is there an email? Like, how? I haven't heard a word back other than, can you send me your confirmation number, your order number, and your seat number? And he's like, sure. Email the info at Caverns and like the manager. And I was like, okay. Both Carmen and I emailed both of them at the same time in the Cancun airport. Yesterday comes, Carmen says like, hey, we keep getting letters about your warranty for your car that's going to expire. And I was like, what the fuck? I thought I bought the extended warranty. So I call the dealership, and they're like, yeah, like when you buy a car, like Toyota, like, will send you to try to make you buy another
warranty.
Yeah, and he's like, you already had it, like, don't worry about it. And I was like, okay. Immediately after that, I call the Caverns again. Landon picks up, and I'm like, hey, Landon, it's me. And I even said, I don't want to be a Karen. I just have no, like, you haven't sent us anything if there's any progress.
Yeah, I mean, when no one's giving you any information, you have to keep hounding them, because like
and I
one
was like,
email could have fixed all this, and they just didn't provide that.
Like, yes, we are working on it. That would have been helpful, but nothing. And he said, okay, there's a manager here. like that like deals with this kind of stuff. I'll go talk to him right now. 5 minutes later, I actually get a phone call, and it's a guy named Joe, and he goes, "Hey, first of all, I've never done this before," and I was like I get it, like this is new for you. Like I'm also not trying to be a dick, Joe. You just have. I feel like I'm pulling teeth. It shouldn't be this hard just to tell me you're working on it. This is what you've done. That's a 2 minute and a half email max.
I do that every single day, and it's not that hard.
No, when it's your job. Like if I got to sit at a computer, or if I got to be a manager, sending emails is part of my job.
Yeah, like even if you can't do anything, letting people know that you can't do anything is valuable information.
Yes, because then when I was like, Joe, if you can't find an interpreter, at least move us up to a spot where my wife can hear and see the people talking. Like that's I'll be frustrated because she might not understand everything that's being said, but at least we'll be able to be right there.
Yeah.
And he goes like, so actually we emailed her 10 days ago, and I was like, the email 10 days ago was, can you please tell me your confirmation number? And I was like, that's not information.
Yeah, that's asking something
that's
that
asking
you should be able to pull up.
That's asking for my information. Mm-hmm. That's not you giving me anything.
And then no information on why you would need that. No information on the status of what's going on.
So he said that he called Nashville. They didn't have it. It was outside their range. And they told him to go to Chattanooga. Chattanooga was like, oh, they're in our range. We'll try to find somebody. And he was like, okay, so we're going to try to find somebody. He has a connection to a court interpreter for like the court system. Is like, I guess like maybe a family friend or something. He reached out to her and was like, she said, I prefer it if people who do like interpret for events for a living to do it. But if not, I'll do it last minute. And he's like, if not, regardless of that, you guys are getting moved to the front row, right in front of them. And I was like, Joe, I get that you haven't done this before. I really appreciate it. I do not want to be a dick. I just have not heard a single. You haven't given me anything.
Yeah.
Not one thing. And all I've wanted was for somebody other than poor Landon in the gift shop
to acknowledge the situation.
To talk to me. Because when the guy picked up the phone, I was like, hi, Landon. It's Matt again. We talked on Saturday. Anything? like I know you're also not the guy to ask, but you had apparently heard about the situation with the interpreter, so you're all I got.
It's like a situation.
Shout out to Landon who sells rock candy every day
and fridge magnets
that had to like freeball the situation.
Yeah. So
I mean, even if like you were saying, it's like even if you could say, look, we can't get an interpreter. What do you want to do? Like, just say something, and it would have been like, okay, cool, we can work with that. Versus like, what do we do?
We are in a position where we know interpreters. We could give someone a call if they would just say, "Oh, do you know anybody?"
Yeah. 100%. And here's the thing: is Carmen's been doing this her whole fucking life, doing this. Yeah. I've been doing it for the past. It was actually while we were dating, so probably like the past 8 years I've been doing this. So it's like I know, like it's not a question of like they just have to contact the region. Nashville was like it's outside our region. If you contact Chattanooga, they're inside because they're only 30 minutes away from Chattanooga, and an hour and a half. Which I don't know why he didn't call Chattanooga to begin with, but. Because Chattanooga's 30 minutes down the road, as opposed to Nashville, which is an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So he's like, I haven't done this before, and I was like, I really appreciate it. And I was validating him. I was like, I bet that it was really like, you were going through something you've never had to do before, and I get that was probably difficult. And I appreciate you putting in the work to get us these services. I mean, I was literally trying to be so fucking kind, and at the same time, like, now I'm talking to a manager 4 days before the event.
Yeah, to be fair, you did handle everything in a correct way. It's just like you did everything you could and nobody was doing anything, so you had to push a little harder. And that's not on you. It's on these people that didn't want to.
Even though, because at the end of the conversation, I was like, I really appreciate you, Joe. Like, thank you so much. Because I was wanting to be gracious of, like, you're doing something that you don't like. I was just trying to be a decent human being, understanding that, like, this is something that's difficult for you.
And that's not something
and
that
I heard,
most
and then he was
do.
like, yes, thank you so much. Goodbye. And I was like, don't act exhausted.
I get yelled at every goddamn day at the hotel, and you're gonna work in a cave selling Dungeons and Daddies tickets, and you're gonna get frustrated. Fuck off.
Yeah,
I would kill to work in a cave.
Seriously, I handled it as best as I could.
I do gotta wonder like how like
there's a little bit of work we got to do. So when we get there, doors open. I'm gonna try to get there like 20 minutes before doors open because we have to talk to ticketing because they're like we were not able to on your ticket to change. You just got to tell them who you are and they'll make sure that you get to the tickets up front. But other than that, it's set up.
I gotta
hopefully with an interpreter.
I gotta wonder how like because like you gotta imagine if they can't deal with that, what the fuck's happening on the other side?
I've seen their lineup. Like I've looked at to see like other shows that they've had. There's big people. Like I don't understand. Like if you have a big person playing there, like I don't understand how they haven't like at a venue never had.
I've never had to deal with that.
Yeah, and it's not like being deaf isn't like.
But also, this is fucking Nashville. The whole reason this city exists is because of music and music venues.
And again, being deaf is not like and also like Nashville has like a school of the deaf and blind. I've
met 2 deaf people this week.
I gotta wonder if just shit behind the scenes is going like fucky. Because like you're saying is like that should be an easy thing that like
it's also not
but, like and I'm not even talking about the interpreter bit. Like I'm talking something else took this motherfucker away where he's like this is we'll deal with it later type
Joe,
shit.
I understand this is your first time doing that and I understand that this is a new thing that you're having to do. But like also this is like nationwide. It's ADA, American Disability Act. It's required services, not like maybe if you can do it. It's required. So somebody
you can't do business if you don't comply with that shit.
If it's when I contacted you 2 months ahead of the event, you could have had 2 months for not you to figure out, but the rest of the services, because they have to figure out. Literally, the agencies, if they can't find somebody, will have to find somebody to travel down, and they'll pay them to travel out of town. That's what they did with the Earth, Wind, and Fire people. They were like,
I love those guys.
They were great, and one of them was like, I had to drive an hour, and I didn't know these. This is like that chick.
I loved that they were having a good time with it.
The guy was like so stoked to be there. The girl was like, I didn't know who these people were. I mostly go to heavy metal concerts. And she was like, but I realized recognize their songs and realized this is the stuff my parents listen to. And she was like, but they made me drive like an hour and a half out of the way. They paid me for it, but because they needed a second interpreter. So it's like, it's literally stuff that like has to be done that people have to figure out. And it's, so
yeah.
Long story short, we're getting to see Dungeon Daddies, which is Will Campos, Matt Arnold, Beth May, Anthony Birch.
That's the big one for me.
And why am I forgetting his name? Rocket Jump,
Freddie Wong,
Freddie Wong, that created over COVID Dungeons and Daddies, not a BDSM Dungeons and Dragon podcast.
It was a little pre-COVID, but it hit right at the perfect time.
I still need to listen to the season one.
No, we're gonna send you this week. You're gonna listen to the Pyramid episode.
Yeah,
that's one of the funniest episodes.
That's the one that'll like hook you, and then you'll go back and start it over.
It's such it's and it's not like Critical Role, which is 4 hours long.
I'm not saying that. It's just the idea of like, I got to start in the middle.
Just start at the beginning.
You can start at the beginning, but if you want if you're only going to listen to it once in the next 3 days, listen to that.
Okay, yeah. Send me the episode if I don't get around to it. Like, it's been in my Spotify. Like, all right, I'll listen to this, and I just haven't gotten around to it because they haven't put me on like Dish or Prep Work. So
if it helps, it is a very casual vibe. It's not like Critical Role where they're like, oh my god, I'm so sorry I didn't roll this extra D6 for this spell because I had inspiration or whatever.
No, yeah,
it's a bunch of friends talking and making Metal
honestly,
Gear
if you're
references.
a real D&D dice heckler,
you'll hate it.
You'll hate it
because they're like, fuck it.
They don't roll for things that they should roll, or will Campos be like, I'm just going to make this ridiculous DC, or make you not be able to roll a perception check on something, just so I can roll the story forward.
I've been I've taken that into account because I know how much fun they have, and if you guys want to do something cool, then I'm gonna find a way to do that.
Yeah. No, but you're a lot more. I would say, because it's such an open world and not a story that you have a predetermined story points. Even though Will like rolled with a lot of shit, it was very predetermined. That's why like shit was like, this is gonna happen regardless of what you roll.
Yeah.
You are really good about like, I'll roll with whatever you roll, but I still have a story I want to tell.
The fact that Homeboy was supposed to escape and be like a main villain later, where Matt instead was like, I'm gonna shoot him right in the face.
Speaking of which, in the last session that we played on Sunday, there was one big reference in there that I know you didn't catch because you haven't seen it.
But you did a poor job explaining. Just because you name the types of clothes that they wear without giving a single goddamn reference is not fair to me. Don't be
I also did it with the guitar and you didn't get it.
Okay. But I don't think me who literally, you know how they say like there's levels of like being able to imagine something in your head? I have like level 1. Like I can barely picture anything.
Well, you were able to figure out RoboCop.
Yeah, but I also...
Your dad is the Crow.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, if you had said with really pale white skin and...
He doesn't have pale white skin, he has corpse paint.
And black lipstick...
And
I would have been
during the concert, I did say he had corpse paint on.
Okay,
when he came on stage.
I missed that.
So
just whenever he's not in on the concert, he's just like
he's regular Eric Draven.
To be fair,
he's just a greasy looking dude.
Line, you know, I would have gotten it.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. To be fair, he was like Matt.
But it's also it never rains in Night City unless somebody's about to die. And I'm saving it.
He's saving 2 lines. BJ and I had a really good discussion. I was like, there's 2 rain lines from 2 of our favorite things. Then he's like, if I can figure a way how to put them both together, I could die happily. And I was like, dude, I'll put that on your fucking tombstone.
Yes. And
which are, for people who don't know, the first one's from Blade Runner, which is like Tears in the Rain. And the second...
All Our Lives Like Tears in the Rain.
All Our Lives Like Tears in the Rain. And then the second is from The Crow, which is
it's when he like meets the little girl for the first time and she realizes how she realizes who he is she says, oh, it rains all the time in the city. And he says, it can't rain all the time. And then she's like, oh my god, it's Eric.
Yeah. both really good lines. So yeah, I mean, so Dungeon Daddies, they have a new season up, which I did not expect to be like 3 weeks after their season finale, because between season 1 and 2,
it was like a week, right?
Season 1 and 2 was so goddamn long.
I mean between 2 and 3.
Yeah, it was like a week. Because I was like, BJ, they just put out the finale, and then a week later, BJ, I sent him a screenshot of the Spotify. They put out season 3. Season 3 is Call of Cthulhu, which I actually really enjoy.
The one shot that they did in Call of Cthulhu was really good.
Yes, I'm glad that you listened to that because I loved that one shot. And Call of Cthulhu is all about RP, and all it is just like, you do this. Oh, you want to investigate this? You want to use this as your, like, you can just choose your proficiency and use your proficiency to help you get through stuff. So if you're like, oh, I want to use my PhD in astrophysics to help me do this, and they're like, okay, do it. And then, oh wait, you're seeing a dead body on the street. You have to roll for psychic damage, and then you have a sanity level. So fire. So
yeah, and
the best part though is Anthony's playing and Will's DMing.
That's the thing that I wanted to bring up, is seeing Anthony Birch 10 feet away from me in person is probably going to be too much to handle.
It's going to be so fire. It's going to be so fucking fire. And I'll tell you this much. Beth May, in the 30 minutes I listened today of season 3, episode 1, Beth May has so come into her own
with the role playing.
I
mean, at the end of season 1, Beth was like the MVP.
Yeah, but it's still like I'm saying, like, and having not even listened to like 5 episodes of season 2, it's really fun seeing her so confident in RPing. It's just, I'm really happy for her because she is really fucking funny.
She is, and everybody on the whole show is.
Yeah.
And I love them together.
So, I'd love if we could do something like that because they make me laugh so goddamn hard.
At the start of Arc 2 of this campaign, we definitely can. There's a very specific point where we can record, and it'll make sense, kind of.
All right. Well, you just let us know, brother, because I know there's some people that have been wanting us to record.
It's coming quickly.
I know.
You guys are getting towards the end game of Act 1.
So, man, what a fun! I like. Even though we just saw each other a couple of days, and I thought like this episode was going to be a little mundane because we talked about everything we wanted to talk about on Saturday and Sunday. This was a really fucking good episode.
I do want to talk about, because I was playing it last night because I couldn't get to sleep, but I've been playing more of Another Crab's Treasure.
I saw that. I also saw that you're playing Baldur's Gate on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yesterday.
Yeah, I play Baldur's Gate anytime with the crew, so Luis and Tanner at work every Saturday or sometime every weekend, and then whenever we can. I'm trying to get it, for whatever reason my Steam Deck won't stay connected to the internet, so that's affecting me playing Baldur's Gate, at least at my house, so I think I have to try to find either a better connection point or something. But Another Crab's Treasure is fucking great.
It is.
I've never been very far just because I've been like exploring around, whatever. I've gotten to the point now where shit's starting to get dark. Because I'm like, oh, the Duchess said go get some shiny. I'm like, okay, cool, learn magic, that's awesome. I get back and it's like, the sea now goes gray, and I'm like, what the fuck happened? And you meet the knight at the front of the door, and he's like, everything sucks, I fucking hate it here. And he starts to attack you. I'm like, what the fuck happened? And then you get to through the whole thing, you get to the fucking queen or Duchess, and her boss fight was cool too. Soundtrack is amazing, by the way.
Yeah, it's really good.
I also found, because I guess I missed him the first time, but I found the fucking guillotine shrimp thing.
Yeah, I had a really fucking hard time with him the first time around.
Oh, so I'd pretty much done everything in this area, and that was the last thing.
Knight?
The guillotine shrimp.
Oh.
Yeah, he's got like it's like a cigar cutter almost.
Oh,
well, it's a lock.
Yeah.
It's like a lock that they put a razor blade on.
Yeah.
It. Yeah, and so if he catches you, it's an instant death because he'll just throw you under the thing and make the guillotine go, and it's an instant death. But I beat him like pretty easily just because I've leveled up. I have all my. No, I haven't used the gun yet.
I didn't use the gun until after I beat the game, which I'm proud of.
Did you lower any of the difficulty stuff?
No, I kept it all stock
Okay.
from like starting point to the end.
I used it once for the guard captain where I was like, okay, fuck, Jesus Christ.
The only reason that I did use it is because there's an achievement that you get for equipping every shell, and there's no other way to get the shell than turning it on in the settings.
Oh, the gun, yeah,
and that counts towards it.
Because I was having a hard time fighting the fucking night guard. Because I guess I'm like, I just got a shell, so I'm still learning how to use it. So I was like, fuck it, let me just go down one difficulty bit, and I was like, cool. And
Dude, any shell that has party time is going to be a savior for you.
I mean, Fizzle already is great, just having a fucking ranged attack, and so I was like, sick. And so once I figured out kind of what I'm doing, I was like, got it. Put the thing back up to normal difficulty, and I beat the Duchess like no issue. That first boss has like just a high difficulty spike because every enemy you fight up to that point takes like hella stagger damage when you're hitting them.
Yeah.
And then now you're starting to get people who have their own shells, their own stuff, so they don't stagger. And so I'm like, okay, got it. This game is shockingly not a very aggressive Souls-like. You kind of have to like sit back sometimes. A lot more than like
it's not
others.
like Sekiro where it's like hesitation means death.
Yeah, I'm like actually like fuck, I gotta like retrain my brain a bit because I've been playing like Neo and other stuff like that, or Liza P, where it's like fuck it, go in there. And then this is more like Dark Souls where it's like no, like lean back, watch for movements. The parry window is really interesting. Like it's not about pressing it at the right time, it's letting go at the right time. I'm like, that's fucking weird, so I'm having to get used to that.
Can't wait for that Liza P DLC. But Shadows of the Erdtree.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Erdtree.
Did you see that it has 100 new weapons and 10 bosses?
That is fucking insane. That's way more than any other Dark Souls.
Are they adding a new class too?
Yeah.
Shit.
Apparently it's like full on just fighter. Like throw hands. You can do full on martial arts moves now. Yeah, like a monk.
I'm going to have to start a new playthrough because the first time I played it was on PS5 and I
don't have PS5.
I read that game out for content. So I have it on my Steam Deck. I just need to go through and start a new playthrough.
I'm hoping they put it on sale sometime soon so I can buy it on Steam Deck, because I don't want to hit it with 60.
I think that would be a smart decision. Put it on sale, but have the DLC still be full price.
Because I'll pay full price for the DLC. It's new. It's coming out just now. That's one thing. But I'll pay less for.
I'm still waiting on Fires of Rubicon to go on sale on Steam.
Oh my god, we need to finish that.
Apparently the only thing that's stopping it from being playable is just how small the fucking lettering is.
I mean, that's fine. It'll still run.
Or sorry,
And
not playable. Being verified.
I sit with my Steam Deck like this anyway, so
I do. I see him with his little feet up.
yeah, kicking my little feet in the air with my little teddy bear.
So, a couple things before we end this episode. In 94 days, Space Marine 2 comes out.
I'm actually getting really down to play that, and I hate it. I don't want to be a Warhammer guy.
3-player co-op.
Oh shit!
God damn it!
For the story!
That's how many of us there are.
Guys,
That might.
we really need to.
If it's not crossplay, then I'm getting it on the Steam Deck then.
It's
Because
Well, Matt's getting it on Steam for his PC,
Oh, so then, yeah, I
obviously.
guess I have to get it on Steam Deck.
Shit,
It better be playable.
You can just log into your Steam here.
that's true. Shit.
I played speaking of Warhammer, I played Bolt Gun, that like Doom.
Oh, it's awesome.
fucking awesome.
It's awesome.
It's so good. I fucking love it.
Like not just like, oh, this is just a
No, like, it's
dude,
a really good,
It's
like-
actually really good.
Like it.
I love it. I
It-
have like 20 hours into it.
It's really fun.
I didn't talk about it because it's like such a
No,
for me,
fuck
it's
it.
like
That's
a
so
small
good.
thing.
I've been
So
wanting to play the Quake remasters too, just because in that same vein, but I haven't. But
They're solid.
yeah,
so
Bolt Gun
also
looks awesome.
six. I think it's 6v6, fully customizable appearance, PvP
In Warhammer?
Space Marine 2.
That's too close of a gateway to start painting minis. I don't like that at all.
The only thing, the only payable thing is skins in the game. That's the only free DLC. Everything else is just cosmetics.
Why the fuck did they have to do everything right?
And yeah, and it's Unreal 5, and it's gonna. I know
It looks incredible. Everything I've seen from that game blows my fucking mind, and I can't believe it's not cutscenes.
So then, I don't even remember the other bit of gaming news I had for us.
I wanted to talk to you about the Dave the Diver upcoming DLC
With Godzilla.
Yeah,
Free DLC too.
insane.
Insane. Looks great. It apparently you have to reach a point in the story to activate it. And you get kaiju battles and some other stuff. And from the trailers I've seen, it looks awesome. You get to see like Godzilla face to face.
Yeah, love that.
And I had another thing that I was wanting to talk about that was very important to gaming, but none of it is as important as Space Marine 2.
Oh, I do have one thing that's important to gaming that I wanted to bring up. Jeff Keighley said that Kingdom Hearts 4 is not at Summer Games Fest at all.
he also said at least at Summer Games, so his show is not going to have super big reveals, but it's going to be a lot of release dates and stuff like
Probably
that.
some DLC stuff.
But I think he was also saying that like the people who are partnered with us will have their big reveals. So like if Square Enix is doing a show, that's when they're going to. Actually Square Enix is not part of Summer Games Fest.
yeah.
So they're not going to.
I mean,
show
everybody does their live streams around the same time, whether they're a part of it.
According to some of the leaks, apparently Xbox has all the fucking
July
shit to
29th, Xbox 360 store is shutting down.
Rip in peace.
All Halo DLC, all the Halo games DLC is free from now until July 29th.
Oh, so on the 360
Halo DLC.
DLC. Okay.
DLC is free. So most of that, like the biggest thing that's for is Halo 3. All the DLC for Halo 3 is all free.
Buy Sonic 06 before you don't have a chance to, because that's the only thing you can really get it on.
Isn't it? No, it's not backwards compatible. Yeah, you're right.
It's not. And then Project 06 is not done yet. I think they have the final story to do, but then it'll be done.
Is it going to be on Steam or is it? What? How do you get that? It is a mod.
You're gonna have to play Uno
You
a
have
different way
to-
too.
I think you have to download a mod, and then the like a ROM for the original game.
Okay.
Have you seen that thing that was like the guy was like, "Hey, let's play Uno." He's like, "I don't have Uno." He's like,
It's on
It
your
came with
Xbox.
your fucking Xbox. I have the oldest Xbox known to man. You have Uno, you fucking dick.
I love that too because like
Mine doesn't have it.
I was thinking about it because I had an Xbox One for a while and I'm like, I don't have Uno. Is that wrong? Like I don't get. I looked at my own games, not there either, and I go to the store, I have to pay for it. I'm like, what the fuck? What happened?
That's the point that he made. He was like, go to the store, you download it for free. I saw this TikTok that was like Microsoft CEO. Hey, go ahead and install Uno on every Xbox except one.
I guess I can't remember the other piece of gaming news that I really wanted to talk about, but I mean, yeah, Space Marine is going to be. I really do think it's going to be like a heavy hitter.
Yeah,
this year.
I hate that I know.
I don't know if it's gonna be a heavy hitter. I think it's gonna do big, but like I don't think it's gonna like pop off like.
I think it's gonna be.
I don't know. Helldivers.
I think it's gonna be the next Helldivers.
You do?
Yeah.
I think
especially with PvP, because that's like the one thing that's not drawing in the crowd to Helldivers. It's like I can't shoot other people and make them mad.
The only reason that I don't think it will,
dude, remember how big the online Gears community was?
I'm not saying it won't, but considering
do more Run the Jewels DLCs.
Yeah. Well, the reason I say no is because
Keep on hitting my knee, and
I didn't mean to hit my weenus on your
knees.
The reason I say is because I think it might be overshadowed by the fact that we're apparently going to get an entire Gears series remaster dropped, like apparently shadow dropped for the Xbox showcase. So that'll take some away, and then Gears 6 is getting announced. So that's
I don't know.
That'll take some away, but then also
I think new gen and PC players have been waiting for.
It's from
a good like actual. It's not first person. It's third
person action shooter.
An action shooter that's I mean, it's one of those things like Space Marine 1 was cool, but mostly because the cutscenes were awesome, not because the gameplay was anything to write home about. This is going to be the gameplay is everything to write home about, and the cutscenes is just in game what you see already.
My other problem is that it's from Focus Home, which all of their games are lower budget AA stuff, which includes Space Marine.
Yeah, you can definitely see the lower budget in those fucking incredible graphics.
It's an Unreal 5 game. Any Unreal 5 game is going to look good.
That's not true. I could build a game in Unreal 5 right now, and it's just going to be a block moving left and right and forwards and back in a blank space.
Fair. I'm just saying that these guys know how to make something look good with lower shit because it's Saber.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
We just talked about Godzilla -1 where they did exactly that, and you fucking love it. So shut the fuck up.
Okay.
Happy birthday. Fuck you.
Thanks. I'm just saying I don't think it's gonna pop off as much as you guys think it's gonna pop. I think it's gonna be good. It's gonna review really well.
I think it's gonna be the biggest draw to Warhammer that they've had in a long time.
I'll give you that 100%. This will be the thing that like some casuals will go, oh, that's what that Warhammer shit is? Oh, that's pretty cool. But I don't think it's going to be this huge, oh shit, you're going to see nothing but TikToks about it kind of thing.
No, I completely disagree. This is the gateway drug.
There's going to be edits.
This is fentanyl,
funk
brother.
edits.
This is fentanyl, dude. It's literally going to take America, because what's going to happen is it's already going to, every Warhammer fan's going to download it. They're going to tell their friends who they've been talking to about Warhammer for ages.
The biggest thing is that it's casual friendly. Because Resident Evil being a third-person action game,
it has a story mode that you can play with friends. That's all Baldur's Gate is a story mode with friends.
I think that might be the biggest draw, honestly, is just the co-op story mode, because nobody does that now.
Agreed.
Again,
3 is a fun number too.
I'll happily eat my.
I know that's a weird thing to say, but 3 is a fun.
3 is a party and 4 is a crowd.
100. I agree. And because it sucks when you have like the 2-player, like, because then it's the 2-player story game. It's like, oh, it's just me and my girlfriend, or me and this one guy. But then you have that third friend that you're like, why didn't I get to play?
I mean, the best nights I've ever had on Fortnite were just the 3 of us.
100%. So I really do think it's a game. I think it's going to be one of these things. It's like it's going to start off small, then it's going to blow the fuck up to these people that are like, this shit is dope. It's the same thing with Hell. It's that fucking space fascism too. It's got that lore of this just heavy.
I think the heavy metal. The fact that Helldivers exists now is going to boost it.
It's a heavy metal fighting bugs. I think it's going to blow the fuck up. I mean, like we already know that. I think Helldivers is going to this year is. I think it could win community
Community
Like,
support.
community
Definitely best
support.
multiplayer
I
game.
definitely agree with that. I don't think anything else comes close to the community support Helldivers had.
I know.
I'm
Hell-
slurring my words because I'm really drunk now.
Helldivers, I think Helldivers got that. They probably got best multiplayer game, unless
Yeah.
fucking COD steals it again.
There's no way COD
No
wins
COD.
this year.
What has COD done in the last 6 months that has been memorable?
Nothing.
Nothing, because Modern Warfare 3's ass. But every Black Ops game wins awards, and we're getting Black Ops 6. So
Yeah, but
no, but I'm telling you this on just sheer
To be
like
fair, I feel like they'll pass-
Stockholm syndrome alone. Because even Cold War being ass still was like, this is the best COD we've had in years.
here's the thing, though. We're seeing
Cold War was so fucking. Sorry, Jack, but Cold War was really good.
I think I liked the campaign. I did not like playing any of the fucking multiplayer shit. Zombies
I mean,
was
to be
alright.
fair, Jack worked on map design, but that's not something to.
Dead. whatever.
I was thinking about this
We love you,
yesterday. I don't know. It's weird that you bring up Jack actually, because I was standing at work yesterday and I was like, you know who I'd really like to hang out with, like in person, is Jack.
He's a busy guy, and that's the really hard problem. Is he's a fucking busy guy.
You-
and here's the other problem: is that
Text
he
him.
got
Let him,
fucking in
hey,
trouble too.
Let him.
Yeah,
him.
that-
See if
I'm
he's.
sorry.
See if he's still doing good because of all the Microsoft layoffs.
He's still working. He just
Okay.
posted a picture for men's mental health of all the boys that he like loves. It like seriously, like 13 photos on his story of like just guys, like photos with other friends that he's
Good.
dude friends, and he just had the Chinese like no, I'm not being like, actually he was like the Chinese workers that were working at their studio over for like a dinner.
Okay, good. Because
awesome.
I did
So
think about with all the Microsoft stuff. I've been thinking about like, I hope Jack's all right.
Well,
Because
remember
He works at 2K now.
oh yeah, fuck right, I forgot. Yeah, he's not
Yeah,
there.
he's-
Never mind.
He's not.
So he's
and 2K is working on some big shit.
well. There's
mean-
the rumor. There's the rumors
I mean,
of.
we'll know when the game that he worked on gets announced, because he'll be posting the shit out of that on his
Do
Instagram.
We know.
I've heard some rumors, and if they're to be believed,
Well, tell me, because
I don't-
he's not here.
Yeah, he's not here to say anything, so it could be rumors. So we just heard rumors.
I've heard a lot about some Borderlands 4
or Bioshock
and
4.
a lot of Bioshock
Yeah.
news.
You know what's
The big
fucking
ru- the
crazy?
big
Those
rumor
are-
is,
that's like in his top 5. Those are both games in his top 5 games. When we talked about it,
I could
if
see him
that's
being
what
that
he's been working
it's
on-
Dead Space, Borderlands, and Bioshock.
If that's what he's been working on, then I'm so fucking happy for him.
Yeah.
that he's gotten to live his dream.
Me too.
That's
I mean,
crazy.
Jackie's been one of those people that is like have had like their goal in his sights and has just worked towards.
He
That's-
got it,
That's
yeah.
like that's
I admire
what
that.
That's like one of the things. I mean, he like loved COD Zombies, and he was able to work at Treyarch, and so it's like it was like been so single. I mean, which is again why he's so busy, and he's not able to hang out, and like even when I'm home for Christmas, he's like, hey, like I'll try to have lunch with you, and it just never works out.
Yeah.
Especially because I'm also fucking busy all the time. too.
Even if we don't record, if we could get him on the Discord and just
I
chill,
know.
it'd be sick.
I mean, I like I said, I would just love to get a drink with him. I need to see Rafe again. Rafe,
Yeah.
I feel like, I mean, maybe Rafe has this connection with everyone because he has such a good personality, but we really connected over that one cigarette.
Yeah. So, anyways, this was a baller
Banger
episode. Yeah. Hey. Also, this. You know how much I talk really good about Max. I just got an email about a price hike.
Yeah, on all their ad free.
That's crazy because all their shit has moved to Netflix now.
Yep.
Which is already has the fucking price hike, but
I've never been more.
I'm
happy.
paying $15 a month.
You're not.
Max is now $17 a month.
Yeah, I've never been more thankful to have already canceled a subscription. Be like, oh, that's crazy. Not me though.
Netflix and Disney Plus are the two that you need now because Hulu's all just on Disney Plus.
I need to
That's
figure
true.
that out because if I cancel my Hulu, is that shit going to go away on
I
Disney
bet it
Plus for
will.
me?
We
That's what I'm
logged
saying.
into Disney Plus, and I don't know if it just matches emails or something, but
It's
it was
it's
all.
it's an account. It's an account that handles
Both.
My email login are the same for Hulu, Disney Plus, and ESPN Plus. So I have the big
didn't they
trio.
say they're going to change out like a Hulu, Disney Plus, and ESPN thing and change out ESPN for something else, or is it just gonna be a Hulu, Disney Plus?
I don't know.
Because I,
mean,
might
if
just
they
say fuck it and do that.
changed ESPN to like.
this is not interesting.
Sorry, yeah, we're rambling.
I just want Max and Paramount Plus to partner up to make that worth it. Because then I can watch South Park all in one place.
Well, then I'd actually get Paramount Plus probably.
Yeah, that's true. I would
Thank
watch.
you for watching. We love our sponsor, Dubby. Use code Take It Sleazy at checkout, and as always,
Take it sleazy.